And welcome to a very special vlog today. I'm doing this all live. I'm doing this in one shot, and hopefully I won't be terrible at what we're about to do. So as you can see, we are on the PlayStation 4. We are on their port of one of my favourite games of all time. This is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, one of the very few good things to come out of the prequel era, in my humble opinion. This was originally actually released on the Nintendo 64 back in 1999, which was the same year, of course, the film was released. And it was one of the first video games I ever owned. In fact, it was the first racing game that I ever owned, and one of the few video games that I could even play with my father as well, which was quite nice, and it's why it's quite a special game to me. But anyway, enough of all that. What we're going to do today is we're going to try some of the tournament mode. It's worth saying I've already completed this game numerous times over the years. I've got the Platinum Trophy already as well, which is lovely, a nice little accolade. I'm a bit of a trophy hunter, so I do enjoy the little pat on the back or the pat on the head that games very kindly dole out for doing the things inside of the games. But yeah, before we get stuck into tournament mode though, I thought what I would do is we'll go into time attack, and I'll show you all the basics of the game. It's, as I say, a very fun, very fast-paced racing game. So this is my current save file. I've got a little Anakin Skywalker there as well. If we just go in here, you'll see all of my stats on the screen here are maxed out to as far as they can be. What happens in the tournament mode is you do races, and you win money for winning races, and as you win money you can spend it on parts to upgrade your pod racer. You've got traction, turning, and you can see what's on the screen. And all the pod racers balance a little bit differently as well. I did my most recent playthrough as this chap here, E.B. Endicott, because honestly everybody seems to just play through with Anakin all the time, and I guess because he's the one human character in the game, or because he's, you know, the one people remember from the films. But I like trying different characters as you go. And one of the cool things is that as you go through the game as well, you when you unlock these extra parts for your pod, all of the increases carry over to all of the races, so you don't have to do the races a bazillion times to win all the money. You can just upgrade your racer and everybody else will upgrade in line with it. So what we will do is, tell you what, if I get out Anakin just to get him out of the way with, and we'll be doing this set of races today. This is the amateur pod racing circuit, just to start things off with. I'll start a new tournament mode for that as well, and just so that way you guys can see the progression through the game and the upgrading system and all the rest of it. And if it goes well and I don't make a colossal fool of myself, we might even look at doing the next kind of ones as well, and at later dates potentially, because it's I don't want this to go on all day. But because we're going to be doing these 7 in a minute on the tournament side of things, what I'll do is I'll get down here and I'll tell you what, I'll show you the one from the film that everybody loves and remembers. This is a hard track, so I will crash a few times. I'll talk you through some of the other stuff in the game as we go, but that's enough talking. I think let's get racing. I've turned the music off just so I don't get a copyright strike, because of course John Williams and Lucasfilm are very precious about their music. Here we go. 1 skadoosh. So you can get a little boost right at the beginning there, which is really cool. If you just hit accelerate as the last number disappears. It's also worth saying that this game has got a very unique feature that not many races do. That being that you've got a repair system. If you look at the, it was just there a second ago on the bottom left-hand corner, I'll hit a wall and you can see it again. Those are my engines, and as we race, we will pick up damage, and once they change from that lovely green colour into maybe a more yellow or crimson colour, we will need to decide how we want to race, whether we want to try and repair the damage as we go, or to see if we want to risk it. So the cost of repairing is that you slow down. So if I show you now, we've got a bit of damage here. So if I... There we go. We hold the repair down. It slows you down a bit, but not for too long. And then you're off at the races again. Another thing that's really cool about this game, you can see the speed monitor on the bottom right. That little... Ooh. I was not paying attention to what I was doing there, and I paid the price. I paid the price for my lack of vision. Also, fair warning, there will be Star Wars quotes throughout this this little vlog. But yeah, the little green dot by the speedometer there, once it's green, when you get to a straight, and I'll see if we get to a straight in a second, by the Canyon Dune turn where the Tusken Raiders hide out in the film. In fact, here might do. You hold forward on the stick and then you tap A, and you can boost. Again though, this comes at a cost, because if you boost too long, if you fly too close to the sun, your engines will catch on fire. Very much like they will if you hit the little shots there from Tusken Raiders. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, there's an engine fire. You have to heal that immediately, otherwise you will blow up. And nobody wants to blow up. Oh, right through the old sandcrawler there. Little Easter egg there from Star Wars Episode 4, which we like. So I don't mind the prequel films. They had their good bits, they had their bad bits. Over the years I've kind of softened my opinion, particularly about the Phantom Menace, because of A, the amazing pod racing scene, but also it gave us probably the most badass Star Wars character of all time, Darth Maul, the blokey with the spiky head and the double-bladed lightsabers, which is very, very cool. We like that. Let's go a different... Ooh. Oops. Oh well, live and learn. That's the one drawback of once you upgrade your pod racer to the max, is that it is very fast and very difficult to control if you're not practicing as much as you should be. You can also see that this racing game is unique in another way. It's got branching paths and there are shortcuts. Some tracks have better shortcuts than others, admittedly, but they've all got twisty turns and lots of exciting things to explore, and it makes for just a very exciting gaming experience. It's nice as well because when you crash and you respawn, it gives you a few seconds of invulnerability just in case, because it is an older game of course, it doesn't always spawn you in the most helpful place, so it's just a little way of getting around that. It's also worth saying that this game does indeed have a cheats mode and a debug menu, but because it takes the fun out of it, we will not be using that for our tournament racing in a little bit. Oops, that was a bit close. Let's repair that. You can also taunt your opponents, which is really only useful if you're Anakin, because he's the only one who speaks basic or speaks English. So if I just tap on the triangle button, I'll let you listen. So yeah, charming. But he kind of says various different phrases. It cycles through some voice clips. It is actually the child actor Jake Lloyd who does portray Anakin both in the film and in this game, which is pretty... I would say pretty cool, but let's be honest, he was quite annoying in the film. But hey, nice little payday for him, I'm sure. And what kid does not want to voice his own character in a video game? I mean, you know, that's just like... If you'd asked 12-year-old me would I like to voice a character in a video game, you'd have had to tear me away. You really would have. Coming up to the little side bit, another little trick you can do, you can go on your side like that to get through tight gaps. Some of these rocks are destructible, but they do damage you, they do slow you down a wee bit. Let's see if we can get a good boost going through the finish line here. And we're on to the last lap. There is a cooldown as well with this boost, but if I show you what happens if you boost too far... There we go. Engine fire again. That's a lot of repairing that needs doing there. Now, you can also change the camera view, which is pretty cool. At the moment we're in what I usually... Nuts. what I usually use as my standard kind of view to use for the game, just because it's the most comfortable handling for me. That was a bit risky. But if I press up on the D-pad, good luck if you get motion sick, because this makes it a whole new level of fast and a whole new level of, oh my goodness, we're going to die. And it is a bit more challenging playing it like this as well, because the entire camera shifts with the angle that you race at. But some people like it, some people don't. Ooh, just jumping over the old Sarlacc pit there. If I tap it again, we've got this, where you can't see anything but road, which is again very cool. Oh, that's horrible. I'll see if I can show you that later on if I crash, which I inevitably will again. You can take out one of your engines and you do this horrible spirally fireball kind of thing. And of course, if you're using the close-up view, it makes you incredibly dizzy. Here we go. I mean, considering that this game came out 21 years ago, it's held up remarkably well. This is pretty much just a straight port from the N64 to the PS4. The guys at the development company, which name kind of escapes me at the moment, but they've done a very good job of just kind of upping the textures just enough so that it functions and it runs at 60 FPS rather than the original, which would have probably been about 30 or 40 FPS on the N64. Nuts. Oh, hello. You see, that's what I meant when I said it spawns you in places sometimes. That's a bit awkward. There we go. Let's just get through the twisty, turny, canyony bit. So yeah, now that I've got a proper microphone and headphones set up, I might try and do some more video game streaming over the coming weeks and months. Certainly, at least while I'm still looking for work and COVID's still going on in the background, it'll be a nice little thing to keep me busy. Here we go, over the line. Not my best race on that track, but as I say, it was more just to have a warm up and to show you guys what the game's all about. Oh, this is cool. So that beautiful rendition of the Cantina theme is another little Easter egg. That's from Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. But it is sung by the guy who voiced Watto in Episode 1, Andy Secombe, I think his name is, if memory serves. And again, he and also the guy who voiced Sebulba, they all reprise their voice roles. I think the commentators as well that show up in a few of the cutscenes. Right, so here we go. Let's do some actual racing against some AI. The AI on the game itself is actually pretty good. It's pretty competitive. It's easy enough on the first set of races, but once you get into halfway through the second set and the third and fourth set, it really becomes quite tough. So what we're going to do a new game. Again, not going to use any cheats. We're just going to have this one as our fun playthrough. So what I'm just going to do... just call it ABC, because that's easy as 1, 2, 3, ABC. Like a bit of Michael Jackson we do. Right, so I've shown you Anakin already, and as I said, the upgrades kind of branch over. What I'm going to do for my first race, I'm going to try and get somebody with decent turning and a good all-rounder. So let's go for Odie Mandrell, who is in the film briefly. He's the guy with the pit droids who kind of keep messing up and making a mess. So we're going to Tatooine for our first race. It is the only one of the film locations that actually appears in the game. The rest are made completely for the game, which is quite nice, and it kind of just expands that little bit of the film and makes it more exciting. But you see on the bottom left we've got the winnings. We can change kind of what the winnings are. So if I press to the left, there's fair, which is pretty balanced. There's skilled. And then there's what I prefer to play with, which is, as Abba sang, the winner takes it all. And it's mostly because I've been playing this game for years. I would be embarrassed if I couldn't finish first in any of these races. I've now said that. I think I've probably jinxed myself and we're going to have a horrendous nightmare race, but let's see how it goes. Right, here we go. Oh, missed the boost, that's not helpful. You got to watch out for Sebulba on this one as well, because he's sneaky. He can use a little bit of the old flamethrower as well, so when you're trying to overtake him sometimes, the AI will try and blast you with his vents, and it's the exact same effect that you have. Oh, hello, look behind us there, see where they are. Oh, they're nowheresville there. But yeah, if he hits you with the old flamethrower, your engines catch on fire and you have to slow down to make repairs. Now you will recognise this from the last race that we did, and the reason for that is that the way they've made most of these maps work is that all of the tracks all kind of link in and work around each other, which is quite cool. So you'll see in some of the later ones, like there's a snow planet which has got multiple routes, and in some races some of the routes will be closed off and some will be available, and it just makes it a much more kind of much more interesting experience, because you can kind of see the differences between the tracks. It's very clever, and it's a good way back in the 90s of saving space on your disc, because it does logistically mean that they only had to create about 8 or 9 full worlds and then made several separate races in them. For most planets they have 3 races. Tatooine has 2, I guess because they didn't want to give you too much of a good thing. And yeah, it's just very well balanced as a game. Let's see if we can get around here. No crashes so far, that's good. And through the eye of the needle there. The physics of this game are incredible. Really just feels like you are going that fast. I mean, I know it kind of gives you a number there and it doesn't quantify as to what it is, whether it's miles an hour or kilometers an hour or whatever, but it feels like you're going pretty darn fast. Same kind of feeling you get if you've ever played games like F-Zero or Wipeout back on the PS3. Just, you get a real sense of the inertia and a real sense of what you're doing. The game has definitely aged as well. Like the polygons there and all the shapes are quite they're quite sharp, but for me, being a bit of an old man at heart, it's a nice little nostalgia blast, and I think it gives the game a bit of character and just makes it quite endearing. Through we go again, and let's boost our way to the end and avoid the rocks, because that will stop our boost. We won't bother healing that because we are across the line. Not a bad time, not a bad time at all. Definitely got better as we went on there. So we've won 220 truggets, which is the in-game currency. Other races as well, if you come first in certain tracks like this next one here, you unlock new characters. So what we'll do is we'll stick with Odie Mandrell for another race. We're going to go on to the next race here, which is Mon Gaza Speedway. But before we go into the race, now there are a few different options we've got here. We can inspect the old vehicle, have a little look around, which is quite cool. You can see the chappie there, Odie Mandrell himself, humanoid looking dude. But you've also got a pit droid there, which you get by default. That's how you repair. Shows you the engines, and you just explore what the ship actually looks like in a way that you can't in-game, which is quite nice. But what we're going to do as well, there's a vehicle upgrade section where when you buy upgrades you can explore where the parts go on the pod racer. We'll do that later on. You can buy parts from Watto in a shop at wholesale, which is more expensive, but I've always preferred doing that than the junkyard, because you buy parts at the junkyard at a markdown because they're damaged. I'll show you what I mean.
Look around! I got a lots of a junk.
I tell you, one thing... Oh dear, here we go.
They come here, how do they find me? They come here, they mess up my store. Hey!
So if we look at the cooling here, that is a terrifying laugh. But you can see the where the part is rotating on the left there, you can see a little health bar just to the right of it. My goodness, he doesn't stop talking, does he? But that's the health of it. And so you need to get your pit droids to heal that up. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to go and we're going to buy... Wow. Well, let's buy 2 for now. We can't afford the third one, but we've got 600 truggers to come back to. The annoying thing about this is that Watto just doesn't stop talking. He's got he just doesn't stop talking. And he recycles the same clips. One thing Star Wars is not known for is being very sensitive to racial stereotyping. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what racial stereotype Watto is supposed to be. I mean, even in Episode 1, you've got the Nemoidians, who are very much... They're kind of an offensive portrayal of Middle Eastern stereotypes as well. I guess it was just more acceptable back then, but it hasn't aged particularly well. Having the money-grubbing, flying Watto sounding very much like... I'm not going to say it because I don't want to offend anybody, but you can figure it out for yourselves. This is a nice short track. This is just a nice one to see if... I mean, yeah, we can overtake the AI really easily here because in the first set of races the AI is quite low and it's quite easy. We've already lapped... Oh, hello. We were lapping people and they've decided to become aggressive, which is interesting. Let's not be having that. Oh, you also don't want to make contact with the other racers because this game does have pretty good, yeah, like that, collision detection, and they will damage you and sometimes blow you up and themselves. But it's just not what you want really in a short racetrack where AI number 2 and AI number 3 can catch you. But there we go. Nice and fast, 1 minute 18 seconds, and we've unlocked a new pod racer. This is, I believe, Teamto Pagaliz. He's the little dinosaur guy who goes flying off in the film, which is he's one of the casualties, sadly. But before we go on to the next race, I think we'll change characters. We will have a look, and I think we'll go for Teamto just because he's got a very uniquely shaped pod racer and it looks pretty cool. Let's go for Bedo's Wild Ride. And again, we'll unlock Aldar Bedo in this one as well if we come first. Let's quickly just go buy the old pit droid. And now we've bought them all up, we have that option removed. So let's go to Watto's shop and see how long we can tolerate his speaking. But there are different parts, as you can see, and they're all worth different values. Turning would be good to have. And we can afford that one quite easily, so let's get that. You see the red is where it would worsen your stat and the yellow is where it would improve. Let's see if we can get anything else. Oh, traction would be good. Okay, so we've upgraded both of those. We've got 950 to play with. Let's see what we can get for 950. Braking. Cooling would be more useful than braking. Repair. Repair's not so much of an essential because I'm quite good at the driving and we should hopefully steer better now we've improved the turning. So let's go for the old cooling and then let's get on to the old racing. One of my favourite tracks, this, a nice snow level. Two, one, boost and shortcut straight away. We can go through there. This is one of those cool tracks which has got multiple branching paths again. Oh, the AI is right up my chuff, so I better get a wiggle on. Let's take the first shortcut by going up here. And we smashy the ice. So the more you upgrade, the faster your pod racer gets, which is good because the easier it is to get away from people. But also, obviously, the shorter your reaction time becomes. These are all very narrow courses, so it is a very much a skill-based game. One thing I don't think the developers quite thought about when they... Oh, bother. That's going to hurt. One thing the developers I don't think quite thought about with this game was the fact that these are pod races, they float above the ground, but for whatever reason when you fly over ice it feels like you're driving over ice, and it shouldn't do because you're hovering above the ground. But it's very good of them to have included the ice physics, even if it doesn't quite match the old logic there. I mean, it's Star Wars, you know. I don't think people watch Star Wars for logic and realism. Nice bit of sci-fi escapism. Alright, let's go through the old tunnel and hopefully avoid blowing ourselves up. There we go. Oh, it's getting quite warm in this room. I think after this race I'm going to crack the fan on, and got both windows open, but of course it's the middle of July and it is rather muggy. What we can do as well, I think, if I can remember which button it is, there we go, we can change the map to display where everybody else is in progression to us, or in relation I should say to us. Ooh, nice. I do like taking the odd risks on the easy mode as well, and trying different things to see if I can fit through gaps and all the rest of it, because it's a really fun game, and honestly it's one of those games that I can't be mad at even if I crash. It's just so much fun. We've got a considerable lead on people, which is nice. So let's turn the map off for a bit and get rid of that. And let's try this, let's see if this works. Oh, there we go, look at that, floating above it. Boom. That was cool. Not tried that before. If you hold backwards on the stick, a bit like you're pulling up on a plane, when you go over a drop or a jump or a gap, you do glide for a bit because your thrusters point back, like you can see there. If I pull back now, woo, there we go. And it's quite cool. For a game that came out, like I said, in 1999, 2000, it's remarkable. It's really, really good. Lucasfilm were always very good at making video games. It's one of the few rare occasions where a video game tie-in to a movie is actually very good. Let's go on the side, to the other side. So I hope you all enjoy watching this. We're going to try a final shortcut here, which is easier to do the slower you're going. There we go. Onto the ice. Nice straight tunnel to boost through. As we're not having... I just jinxed myself there. I was about to say, as we're not having much difficulty, and then I blow myself up. There we go. But yeah, as we're not having too much difficulty on this race mode, what I'll do is, once we've done the set of races, every time you complete a tier of races, you unlock a bonus race. And we will get absolutely mullered in this bonus race. We will get absolutely destroyed by the AI, I think. But it might be interesting to show you something a bit more challenging. So if there's time at the end of the stream, I'll get that on, and hopefully that'll be good fun for you guys. I should know better than that. Oops. Poor dinosaur boy's not having a very good time of it in this race. But let's go down the bottom route again this time, and go the one route we haven't gone. Gotta watch the heat there. Do sound off in the comments below if there are any games that that you would like to see me play a bit of. I'll rattle for you. I'll say that again in English. I mean, I've got a good selection that might be worth streaming. We've got the old Crash Bandicoot, the Crash Team Racing, Spyro the Big Purple Dragon, Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man. That is a phenomenal game. There we go, nice and easy, fresh and breezy. And Albedo has been unlocked. I'm just going to quickly reach up and get the fan on, because it is becoming rather toasty in here. It might have something to do with the headset that I'm wearing on my head. There we go, a little song from Watto again. Hello, Watto. He does have a very entertaining voice, I will say that, you know. Whenever you go to the junkyard, it's always just, oh, the outlanders, they come here, they look around, they buy. Why nobody buy? It kind of sounds like the guy, you know, chain smokes 40 packs a day. Don't smoke, kids. Smoking sucks and it's bad. Right, let's change tack again. Let's go for a different racer. We won't try Aldarbido on this one, just because he's quite a wide racer. And there are bits in this track he will struggle with. Let's go for me old mate EB Endicott. He's a very interesting looking alien, kind of like a weird rat bat kind of thing going on there. Right, let's see how we do. And winner takes all as always. Let's quickly see if we've got any upgrades to purchase.
Anywhere, I think, huh?
Oh, that top speed's good. Let's buy that right off the back.
What? You think you're gonna be
And up the acceleration as well. Air brake, no we don't need. We've only got 300 left. Oh, and we can buy something with it. Fantastic.
You're gonna lose unless you upgrade your pod racer, I think.
Yes, thank you, Watto. That's why we're upgrading our pod racer. This is a cool level. This one's like a... It's based around Mon Calamari from the Star Wars Expanded Universe. It's like a watery Atlantis kind of feel to it. 2, 1, skadoosh! Oh, I missed it again. That's not good. Right, this is cracking, this track. Got some jumps, got some twists and turns, and it's even got moving doors at one point, which is, again, for a 20-year-old game, very cool that they've included stuff like that. Jump over there. I don't think it actually speeds you up doing the jumps, but it looks heck of a cool. Let's go the long way first time round. And as you go through here, we're coming up to these doors here. They alternate and they change every lap, and sometimes they move, so you've got to have good reflexes to kind of avoid smashing into them and going kaboom. Here we go, nice boost there. Bit of a knock on the engines, but that's alright, that's acceptable damage. But it's a very pretty level visually. It's just very, very cool. One of my favourite tracks in the game, I think, as well. So you got little fish there, got like a little undersea aquarium bit. And so I've got good memories of this game as well. My dad and I weren't very close growing up, and I haven't seen him in many, many years. But this is one of the few things that we both enjoyed together, and that and Marvel Comics. He got me into my first set of Marvel Comics, the old Fantastic Four. But yeah, this was something we did together on a Sunday afternoon sometimes, just broke out the pod racing and... Whoops. Oh well. And yeah, it was one of the very few things that he ever beat me at as well. He was much more football and motorbikes, and I was much more geekery, video games, manga, anime books, that kind of stuff. But it was nice. I'll take a different route this time. And the doors will now be moving, so let's see if we can do this without going kaboom. There we go, and through. Nice and easy. What makes it more difficult is those doors appear in the later versions of this level as well, the more challenging versions. And when you've got pod racers right up your backside, it's a lot more difficult to thread the needle and go through those thin gaps. Oops, that was silly. You've got to learn the tracks as well, and where is good to boost and where is not so good to boost. Another Star Wars game that I might play at some point on the channel is Jedi Fallen Order, which is, again, very, very good. It's much more of an action-adventure story game than, you know, anything else. People have compared the way it plays or the way it handles to stuff like Dark Souls. You've got to be a bit strategic with your combat. You've got lightsaber versus blaster bolts and, you know, guns and all the rest of it. And you've got to think about how you approach each situation. It's got some good platforming as well. I've always preferred adventure-y platform games just because who doesn't want to go to another world and explore it? Don't get me wrong, I understand some people like Shoot the Cool Gun 6 or, you know, Call of Duty and all the rest of it, but for me, if a game's got a good... Ooh, that was close! Oh, that was too close! If a game's got a good story mode, I'm hooked. I'm absolutely hooked on it. Oh, that's a nice little Easter egg. Just above my head, flying over there, was the old Republic cruiser from the beginning of Episode 1. Again, apologies to you non-Star Wars nerds watching this. Some of this will make absolutely no sense to you, but for those of us who like the old Star Wars, there's no such thing as too many Star Wars references, too many Star Wars quotes. Slow down there. Beautiful. Don't touch this. Oh, there we go. And across the line in... Not terrible. Under 430. I'll take that. And new pod racer. I believe this is Clegg Holdfast we've got here. I clearly have played this game too many times over the years. There we go. Right. So let's try El Barbido this time, because we've not tried him yet. And we'll obviously try Clegg Holdfast as well at some point, just to get a good feel of all the different races and all the different techniques. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can up... Yes, Watto, I'm back again. Your observational skills are an inspiration to us all.
They come here. How do they find me? They
Hmm.
come here. Mess up my store.
Like I said earlier, air brake doesn't really come into it for me because, honestly, I don't really brake. I just release the acceleration and kind of coast to slow down, and that usually does it. Three, two, one. There we go. He's quite a wide pod racer, is this chappie, which makes him ideal for kind of wider courses like this, the speedway type courses. That being said, he can still make it through little gaps with a bit of gentle persuasion. Oh, this level's very cool. This is based on Sebulba's home planet, which is supposedly, I think, a gas mine. So it's kind of all dirt mounds and quarries, and but as you see here as well, you can go off the beaten track just to explore. And in a moment we'll have a very cool jump to go over as well, which I'll see if I can boost over to make it a bit more dramatic. Here we go. Oh, boost. There we go. Hit the invisible wall there. Oh, that is a dog of a corner. Oh, hang on. I heard noises. Was someone close? 3, 4, 5. Okay, I reckon I've got about a 6-second lead, so if I crash it could be problematic, but I hopefully won't crash. The worst place for me on this track is that big corner you saw me go into a minute ago. So if it's going to happen, it will probably happen there. Ooh. If I turn to... Didn't realise that would happen. If I turn sharply with this fellow, his engines kind of bounce on the ground a bit, which isn't good. I'm imagining that's something very rude in an alien language that he's just said, but whatever. Here we go, and skadoosh, boost, and slow down here so we don't stuff the corner. Still stuffed the corner. Oh well, let's repair that. See the little yellow dots behind me there, so I've still got a decent-ish lead. But I don't want to have to repair too many more times, because that will give them an opportunity to sneak in and whoop my behind. It's a shame that I can't put the music on for you, because it does make it much more dramatic and exciting to have John Williams' Duel of the Fates blasting in the background as you're in a neck-and-neck race with somebody. Not that we've been in a neck-and-neck race at any point in this stream, but one can hope. The sound design is very good as well, though. There's a chap at Skywalker Sound called Ben Burt, and he's done a lot of the... In the industry, they refer to them as foliage artists. They make all the sounds that make all of the things in the worlds feel like they belong in the worlds. So the engines, the lightsabers, you name it, they do it. I don't know how that was my fastest lap. I thought that was going to be a problem. No new pod races this time. Right, let's change to... let's go for Clegg Holdfast for this one. Ah, this is a good race. So this is set on OVO 4, and in the game's blurb it tells you that this is a prison planet, or an asteroid to be completely accurate. So we'll hopefully have a bit of fun here. Up the acceleration a bit, let's see if we can improve our handling at all. Not yet, okay. I might up the air brakes just to get to them, or not. Oh wow, we've only got 50 Spondoolies, 50 Truggets left. Let's get out of here then, and let's get racing. Apologies for hitting the microphone. I'm getting used to it. It's on my left side, which is of course my blind side, so a bit more of a challenge. Here we go. 2, 1. He's got a very cool kind of spoiler on the back of his pod racer there that changes with the direction you go. This is a very fast track, and it's unique as well because all of the OVO 4 tracks have zero gravity asteroid chambers, which is, when we get to it you'll know what I mean, but it's insanely cool to look at. Oh, there we go. This is probably the hardest track on this set of races as well, just because it's tight, it's fast, and you'll see when we get to the zero grav as well. Moving parts as well there. Ooh, there we go. Oh, these doors are a dog as well because they rotate and they change. This is the zero gravity bit, so let's take our foot off the accelerator, get low, try and avoid the floaty rocks. Oh, and this flipping thing. There we go, knew that was going to happen. That big electricity, I guess generator, or it's like a shield generator or something, but if it touches you, kiss goodbye to one of your engines. There is also a pretty horrendous glitch that they've not managed to patch out of the game yet, which is if you respawn while going through one of these tunnels, you can unfortunately respawn inside of an asteroid, and if you do that it soft locks your race and you've got to restart. So I've only encountered it once. Let's hope we don't encounter it at the moment, because that will be... Oh, that was silly. Silly boy, Nath. Oh, and they're right up my backside now. Let's try and get some leeway here. I'm regretting my choice of pod racer as well, because he doesn't handle very well. He's got the turning circle of a small boat. If I go quiet, I apologise. It's because I don't want to lose and I'm concentrating. Boost through the straight here, and left, oh, and then right. Come on, you good thing. Go, 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 go. And there we are, through the propellers. Take foot off a bit there so I don't blow myself up against the flipping hairpin bend. And whew, that was a good job I saw that coming. Right, let's try and avoid these rocks this time. I don't want to risk spawning into them. Oh, you absolute toe rag. I really would like to miss that on the final lap if at all possible. Oh no, not again. Bother. Okay, we're gonna have to put our proverbial foot down now, because we are at risk here of being caught by the AI, which would be terribly embarrassing as we're only on the amateur circuit at the moment. Definitely not using this chappie again. He is not at all a versatile racer. With a name like Holdfast, you'd think he would be quite good at the old cornering and the rest of it, but no, he's just very sluggish and unresponsive. It is levels like this that you really have to try and learn the best places to boost. Make the most of the straights when they appear. When I was a kid playing this back in the late 90s, early noughties, I could never get past this race. It took me about 2 years to get to a level where I was competent enough at my racing to get up here. So it's nice to come back almost 20 years later and to find out that it's like riding a bike. I've not really missed a beat. Right, let's go this way this time, and above and below, above and below. Oh, that's going to be close. Yes, we missed him. Happy days. How good was that? And we're pushing our luck a bit here. Oh, that was good. That was very good. These zero gravity chambers also make you go a wee bit faster, so in later races on this planet you get some zero grav chambers without those pesky rocks, so that's the prime opportunity to boost the living daylights out of your pod racer. Oh, as you can see there, that lap was our best by far. We didn't crash or anything. Wonderful. And we have unlocked, I believe this is Fud Sang. I do wonder what the planning meeting for this game was like when they decided on new races, like how they came up with some of those names. Did they just like put a hand into a Scrabble tile bag and go nuts, or what? Well, we are here for the final race, Spice Mine Rung on Mon Gaza. This is much more interesting than the last race we did on this planet, so brace yourselves. Let's see, who do we fancy going with? You know what, we've just unlocked him. He's a very interesting frog-like alien. Let's give him a go. Don't think I've raced with him. Certainly, at least not this time round in the game. And I think we unlock one of my favourite pod races if we win this one, Mars Woo. Let's upgrade and see what we got. Oh, Watto, shut up.
They come here, they look around, they know why nobody buys.
Because they don't like listening to your irritating, racially offensive voice. Right, that's improved our turning and traction. Let's see how many truggets we're working with. 750. Don't care about the air brake at all. The cooling, though, that is what we want. There we go. Happy days. Right, let's get on to the finale. Two, one, skadoosh. And we are off, and my goodness, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was. I'm glad we just improved the turning, because this has got some interesting parts of this track. And again, multiple branching paths, which is just phenomenal for a game of its age. Up the ramp, avoid the digger. You have to admit, it's a very interesting looking game. It really is just very well developed. Nice little boost through here. Try not to connect with the sides. Let's go left. Do a different way every lap. Why not? I'm not feeling particularly worried about the AI on this one, because it's a longish track, and I've been playing... Oh, forgot about that. I was about to boast about how many years I've been playing this, but there's always something new under the sun. Forgot what that thing moves around the track. I think that's supposed to be some kind of minecart, because this is again a mining planet. Right, let's get the mini map up because I want to remember what's coming up next. Please, as I say, do comment on the video if there are any games you would like to see me play next. I'm planning on making this a more regular thing because I enjoy being creative, I enjoy sharing with people and just having a good clean bit of fun, to be honest. I always try and keep these streams and these vlogs that I do on my Facebook as well informal and just relaxed so everybody can have a good laugh, and it's something that I've got a lot of friends who have kids, and so it's nice to put something out there that they can watch and have a bit of fun with as well. I will definitely be looking at playing another Star Wars game on the channel at some point as well. The Fallen Order one will be very good to stream because it's a very pretty game. I have to admit, I'm a sucker for story games, like I said earlier on, but I'm also a sucker for games with pretty graphics. Wouldn't necessarily say this falls into that demographic, but you know, it can be forgiven for that for its age. Oh, that was a bit too close. Let's carefully get around here. Let's take the right path this time and go up the middle for the last lap. Ooh, missed that rock by a narrow margin. There's that minecart thing. Don't know what it is, to be honest. I'm assuming minecart. Pleased with that. We're making some very good time on this track. I hope that the company who have remastered this one also look at some of the other games from the era that were under the Star Wars banner on the N64 and the Dreamcast. I'd love to see the Star Wars Rogue Squadron or Battle for Naboo ported over at some point. They were fighter-based combat games where you had mission objectives, a bit like the old Ace Combat series, but of course set in the Star Wars universe. And again, they weren't the prettiest games, or at least not by today's standards they wouldn't be, but they played very, very well, and they were a lot of fun. And this was back before we had Star Wars content left, right and centre. This was back when we only had the original 3 movies and the Phantom Menace to live off of, so the more Star Wars content we could get, the better, really. We're coming on the final lap now. Let's see if we can finish it without any further incident. Oh, that was too close. As soon as I say it, something bad happens. Oh, shortcut, here we go. And let's get down here. Oh, that was close. Apologies, one thing I do is when I'm concentrating and I have a close call, I sing to myself. Oh, Bantha Poodoo. I don't think he liked that. I don't think he was a fan. Already we're getting near the 900 mark on our speedometer with the boost, which is good. The fastest I think I've ever seen a pod racer go on this game without the debug mode or the cheats on is about 1100, so you can get some serious speed going. You really can. It's good fun. Here we go. Boosty boosty. Try not to clip those sides. Oh well. I think we've got enough clearance to Oh yeah, we're miles ahead. We can soak that hit, no problem. And here we come across the line. Oh wow, that wasn't my best race at all. But it was fun, and we've unlocked the mighty Mars Guo, or Mars Wu, or however you pronounce his name. Happy days. And now we've got a nice little cutscene. He doesn't really look like he's got the physique to be a high-speed racer, does he? But there you go. That's our friend Mars Wu that we've just unlocked. And who the heck is that? No idea who that is. Maybe we'll unlock them when we do more racing. Alrighty, there we go. Ah, right, and it's given us the invitational race because we've got first in all races in that Grand Prix. So what we will do, as a little treat before we end the stream today, I'm just going to go out and choose a different racer. I need somebody, as much as I would like to choose Mars Wu, he's quite large. You know what? Stuff it. We're not going to win this one anyway because the AI is going to absolutely muller us. So let's give him a crack. I'll just show you for next time. I'll do the semi-pro next time, and then we'll go on to the galactic for the third stream. But for now, let's try Ando Prime Centrum. Ooh, hello. The prize money's gone up, hasn't it? 505. Blah, 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 blah. I can't read. 5,500 truggets for winning this, and we unlock slide parameter. We are going to want to upgrade something here. Not air brake. Let's see. Bother, okay. We've maxed out everything but the air brake again, so I think we've got no choice at this point but to spend it, and hopefully that will unlock some new stuff next time. Right, well, this is going to be embarrassing for me. Let's see how badly I lose. Even Watto thinks I'm going to lose. Here we go. He is a big, big dog of a racer, this one. I am under no illusions that we are winning this at all. Don't think that's on the cards. If we do, it will be very lucky. Concentration mode engaged. Let's make like a blue talking hedgehog and go fast. Ooh, that was a bit too close. I won't show the branching routes on this one as much because I've worked out the fastest route to this track, and we're going to try and win it anyway, even if it's an exercise in futility. Who knows? Never try, never win. I will be very surprised if we do it though. Come on, go, 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 go. Do not want to crash at all. A crash on this race, I think, would be game over for us. New lap record. Okay, maybe we can do this. Go to the left again. I'm very glad we upgraded our cooling as much as we can because we need our boost on this one if we've got a hope and a half of doing this. And cornering, there we go. Down the little slope. Oh, that was too close. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier on is that if you're boosting and you touch the sides, you're much more likely to blow an engine. And as you've seen, blowing an engine can be calamitous. Kind of like my turning there was pretty dire. Go on. Go, 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 go. Brilliant little straight to boost away on this. I don't want to jinx it, but we might have a chance here, you know. We might just have a chance. Oh, he is a big lad, isn't he? Again, a very well designed level, this one as well. There are so many branching paths, and there's only about a second or two difference between each route you take. So it's nice that you've got to explore and try new things and see what you can do. See how you can alter it, and see how you can change your approach to racing. Unlike stuff like Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing, it doesn't have like weapons or items either, so it's much more of a pure racing game than it is a cartoony throw the banana shell, whatever it is you want to throw at your opponents to win. I can't believe it, but I think we are there. How good! Oh, flipping yes! And a lap record as well. Lap 1. Oh, that's fantastic. That is a very good way to end the stream. I feel very happy about that. In fact, you know what? Because I am a typical gamer and I like the old classic go on, one more game kind of thing, we won't start a new Grand Prix. We will quickly upgrade our... Now we'll save that for next time. We'll upgrade the pod racer next time, but let's do a little exhibition race on my on the old free play. Let's go to my maxed out profile, and I will show you a little preview of a track we will come across. Let's try Rats Tyrell this time. Little weird alien dude. So this is the Grand Prix set we're going to do next time. We've got the Aquilara Sunken City, which is, again, Atlantis-feely. We've got Howler Gorge, which is snow level. Doug Derby, which is, again, a very gaseous kind of mining planet level. This is a good one. Scrapper's Run. Right. I will show you one of the Order Banner levels before we call it a day, because we've not been on this planet. Nor have we been on the Barunda planet, actually, so we might do Barunda. Ooh, what do I fancy? Oh, I've gone down. There we go. I've overused this controller, so the analog sticks are a little bit loose, and sometimes they are a little bit too sensitive and go where they shouldn't. But yes, we've got Scrapper's Run, another Mon Gaza level, and we end on an Aqualaris one. What I'll do is I'll show you a Barunda level. Let's go for... what do we feel like? Yeah, I'll show you the Baru Coast one. This is an interesting one. It's a jungle planet, very much like for you Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi fans. It looks a lot like Dagobah. Got mirror mode off, laps 3. And we've got 12 races, AI speed average. Let's make it challenging. I want to lose one. Ooh, let's not put mirror mode on though. Yeah, let's make it a challenge. Let's go for 3 laps on this. On a racer I've never played for either. Or played with, sorry, I should say. He looks clunky. This could be a challenge. 2, 1. Oh, hello, that's got some go on it. Right, concentration mode engaged. Although I don't mind if we lose this one. There's no money on the line on it. And, oh bother, already I've blown me engines. We might actually have to do some racing this time, kids. Yep, they're right behind me. Now this planet is very twisty, very turny, but it's also very varied. It's got a beach, it's got a jungle, it's even got a volcano, which you get to explore in later levels. So, very cool. Or rather, not cool, but very, Interesting. I'm going to have to brake a lot here because I'm going far too... Oh, that's a bit dangerous. Shortcut and shortcut. Beautiful, there we go. Yeah, if any of you have watched this and you are interested in purchasing this game, it is available on the PlayStation 4 at the moment for, I believe, £11.99, and also on the Switch and Xbox stores. Not sure how much for there, probably about the same. Maybe a bit more on the Switch because Nintendo are, well, they like money. Let's just say it that way to be a bit neutral. Rescue that engine before it goes kaboom. Brake, there we go. Oh, that was a bit close. And we're already in danger again there. This is what I mean when I say some of the later tracks are a bit more of a challenge. Oh, almost off the edge. Man on the edge. There we go, through the old palm trees. How good. And yeah. Try not to blow up on the corners again. As soon as I say it, it happens as if by magic. What a shock. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this. It's been good fun to play, and if people enjoy it, I will do the next set of races at a later date. Good bit of fun. I mean, I've already completed the game, so there are no more trophies for me to hunt, but maybe what I will do is I'm going to try and get a few games to near completion, and then I might do a stream where we get the platinum, which will be good fun. It's something I've seen Rob and Rosie on PlayStation Access's channel do a few times, where they kind of leave about 2 hours of gameplay left on the game, so they can show them actually achieving the platinum. Tried to be clever and do a little bit of zigzagging there, and it didn't work. Oh well. So, there are two reasons I play games. One is because it's just a jolly good bit of fun and it's something I've grown up with. But also it's because there is a nice bit of competition. I've got friends on the old PlayStation Network who, like me, they like hunting for the trophies. They do... I'll explain very quickly what trophies are actually as well. When you get a PlayStation game, usually there are little things you can do in the game to unlock trophies. Trophies come in 4 colours, or four metals. Bronze, which are easy to unlock, and they're worth, I think it's like 10 gamer points, or 10 gamer score, or something to that effect. This is stuff like, you know, start the game, or unlock your first character, finish a race. That's the kind of stuff you get a bronzy for. Then you've got silvers, which are worth, again, I don't know the exact values, we'll say, you know, 20 for sake of the analogy that I'm doing. Right on that corner again, every time. But yeah, you get a bit more for a silver. Silver would require a bit more effort. Something like, for example, on the Assassin's Creed games, you get that for completing a complete chapter of the story, or for completing a very good assassination. So they're a bit harder to get, but they're manageable. They're not, you know, they're not out of reach for many people. The third one you've got is your goldies. They're, again, for the sake of analogy, we'll call them worth 50. These are the kind of the top tier, cream of the crop kind of trophies, where you've got to do stuff like, well, on this game, for example, I had to finish first place in every single race to get a goldie. In other games, it's been stuff like collect 100 collectibles through the gameplay, finish the game on hard mode is sometimes a gold trophy. That's the kind of stuff you're looking at there. And then the platinums. There we go, race done. But the platinums are, there's only one available for every game, and the only way you can ever unlock a platinum is by collecting every single trophy in the game. Platinums are basically what those of us who are competitive about it, we think of them as like our World Cup or our FA Cup. They're our Premier League trophies. These are the ones that we're really proud of. We've sunk hours into games for them, and you know, we will do one more race. I keep saying one more. This will be the last one, but I want to keep rambling and explaining stuff and having fun with you folks, if you are watching. But yeah, the Platinums are something that I'm actually quite competitive with a few friends of mine. I've got my friend Emma, MK, she's on PlayStation 4, and we have a bit of a rivalry going to see who can get the most Platinums and the most trophies. Other people, like my friend Sherry, Brendan, he's a big fan of the old games. Chris Smith as well. Quite a few of us, we just enjoy playing these games to just to have a bit of friendly rivalry and to try and see who can get the most Platinums. I'm currently sitting at 19 plats. This is my most recent plat, and I've missed the boost because I've been talking. Oops. Let's show you Saboba's flamethrower while we're having a bit of fun. Look at that. If anyone gets in the way of that, their engines go bye-bye. Or at least their engines go on fire, and if they don't repair it, then they go bye-bye. But yeah, it's a nice community, the gaming community. There's a lot of people who play different games. You get to explore different people's tastes in games as well, and you find inspiration for things you want to play, or see things that you wouldn't have necessarily seen if you weren't friends with them. But yeah, particularly with the three people I just mentioned, MK, Brendan, and Chris, there's an ongoing kind of thing where I will always keep an eye on how they're doing with their games, and if they're getting too close to my target or my kind of current level of trophies, I'll try and find something to soak a few days into and get some bonus trophies on. This one, the pod racing game, is my most recent Platinum, but it wasn't, I'll be honest, it's not my proudest Platinum. It wasn't very hard at all. It was within the space of a day that I managed to unlock it, so a short Platinum by most people's standards. Oh, that hurt. I mean, it hurt the racer, it didn't hurt me. Oh, there we go, now we're in a race. Let's see if we can get you with the flamey flower. There we go. He's in trouble now. What was I saying? Yeah, Platinums. Oh, clip through that, that was silly. Oh dear. I'm going to be in trouble now. But yeah, Platinum I'm probably most proud of. It's either going to be my Skyrim Platinum, because it took absolutely chuffing ages to do. And it's a phenomenal game. You can lose yourself in a game like Skyrim. There's always new stuff. I've sunk 200 plus hours into my playthrough, and there's still stuff that I've never seen and probably never will. So yeah, either the Platinum for that, maybe my Spider-Man Platinum, which was again good fun. It wasn't the most difficult one, but it was certainly hard graft. Jedi Flummox. Trying very hard not to swear on stream. But yeah, Jedi Fallen Order was a good challenging one as well. Oh, come off it! Boosted right into his Jaxie, and there we go, we're in trouble again now, because they're going to be right on my backside. Oh, we're twisting and we're turning. What I will do is, I'm just going to check how long the stream's been running for once we finish this race. Because I don't want to... there's a limit, I think, to about 2 hours I'm allowed to stream for before they start cutting off what I've got, and I would very much still like to upload this to Facebook later on as a vlog. So let's get onto my phone and check that out. Where are you, my friend? We are currently at... that's not right. Let's look at my videos. Oh, it's not going to tell me how good of it. Alright, well in that case we'll call it there for today. That's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed the pod racing. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. Come back later on in the week and I'll do another stream. I'll vlog it on my Facebook as well. But yeah, I tell you what, let's close out with Watto. Well, that was Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, guys. Thank you very much for joining. I hope, as I said, I hope you all enjoyed it. And please tune in again. If you enjoy this kind of content, comment below. Drop us a friendly like if you feel so inclined as well. And until next time, have fun and take care. Bye.